Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Tuesday night webinar of Fast Track. Hey, Tamar and Beverly. Hey, Jonathan. Yes, let's teach us how to be skinty. I'm looking forward to the 8:30 How I Overcame Food Addiction and Lost Weight webinar that's going to go on tonight. It is the men of Shibboleth. So we got Jonathan and Jason and Jim on there, and it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to watch them. All right. So when you are on here, if you are in Facebook, if you are on Facebook, please hit the share button for us. It does help us get the word out about Shibboleth and what it is. That's one of the best things that you can do for us. Hit the share button. And if you're on Facebook and you're a member, let us know how much weight you've lost. We love to celebrate you and we love to encourage our new members with that information. If you're in the Zoom room, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's go ahead and hit the chat button, whether you're on your phone or your computer. Go ahead and find where your chat button is. That's going to be important. And then click where it says All Panelists. Once you've clicked there, you'll see the option for all panelists and attendees. You can go ahead and you can click that one. That way, when you type, everybody will see your comment. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do, and if you are in the Zoom room, please feel free to say hello. And I'm hoping that you're on your second perfect day. That would be so awesome if you're on your second perfect day. And let me know. Let me know if you had a perfect day. I want y'all to know this thing that we're doing, it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. What's hard sometimes is telling ourselves no. That is sometimes what's hard to do. Doing Shibboleth is not hard. Telling ourselves no is what's hard, but we can get better and better and better at it the more we do it. I've had to do it all day long to keep my perfect day. Hey, Danny on Facebook. Hey, CC, her first perfect day. Awesome. Wonderful. Hey, Phyllis, I'm glad that you're here. So just to kind of tap into what I was just saying, Trina Harwood, so far, so good for second day. Awesome. And Shannon, greetings, day 2, both perfect. Awesome. That's wonderful. And Trina, if you don't mind doing me a favor, click where you chat and then choose the option for all panelists and attendees. Okay. But today I woke up tired and I have just been hungry all day long. Danny, I'm glad you're trying. If you have to, watch the Sunday night webinar again, because that really basically tells you what all you want to do each day. There's 5 things that we do each day. We drink our water, we write down our foods, we eat in a way that controls insulin, we portion control, and we stop grazing. But that's the skinny of it. You need to watch the Sunday night webinar to get the overview, okay? But you can go back and do that. But I woke up and I've been hungry all day. And I don't know why. I'm not like that all the time, but I have been today. But I'd already declared I was going to have a perfect day, and I had a whole week's worth of holidays last week at the beach and other things. And I don't need to have a holiday again today. I need to have a perfect day. So I've had to tell myself no. And you know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to get a shower. I'm going to get in the bed and I'm going to start watching the Men of Shibboleth webinar from my bed because I want to go to sleep right after that. So I can wake up in the morning and do what? Eat. But sometimes we have to get through those days. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to go into the fast track. And when you're new, when you log in, it should come up to Fast Track right away. Hey, Michelle, glad you're here. It should come up to Fast Track right away. But if for some reason it doesn't, and if you're an experienced member here for a refresh and you've just never done Fast Track, all you do is simply click on Dashboard right up here, Dashboard, and then you would be able to find it because then you'll click on Fast Track. All right. So I'm going to recap this real quick because we're doing lap 3 tonight. But this video, this lap video that's on every lap is just a shortened tutorial of what each lap is, okay? And then each one of these things, this is just a little bit of education, a little bit of housekeeping, all the things that you need to do. It's kind of like getting ready to take your little college mini-mester, your week-long college mini-mester on nutrition. And this is what this is, all right? So you hover over the link, you read the black box, you click on the link, you do what it says, you come back and you check, and then you simply move to the next one, okay? But read the black box, because that way, when you click on that link, you're not like going, why am I here? If you read the black box, you'll know why you're there. And I also will tell you any important information that you need to know in that black box. So these 14 videos don't take you 14 hours. They take you less than 1 hour. It's just short topical videos. Again, it is the overview of the lifestyle. But the reason that you hear the overview, just like I was kind of going over with Danny, just to watch that, because you got to figure this out. I don't know how old you are, but when I found Shibboleth, I was 49 years old. One of the most important things Travis said in the beginning was forget anything that you thought you knew about nutrition. That was good for me to hear. I am an educator. I've got a master's degree in education. I've been a school teacher. I've been a principal, and I would educate myself on what was good for your body. But it's still somehow, I had a lot of info. How many of you got a lot of info? Got a lot of info, but it didn't help you lose any weight. That's because you can have info, but if it's not put together in a management system, which Shibboleth is a management system, if it's not put together in the system, you're still not going to get the results that you need. Or you might get them, but then it's like not sustainable. Shibboleth is that. Hey, Wendy, I'm glad that you're here. That's awesome. So, and then this right here is simply printing some documents. There's your welcome packet, your combination chart, all sorts of documents. This is playing around in the new member food library. This is a meal plan worksheet. I want you to know this is not magical. I do not have any pixie dust. You have got to put this together for yourself. You've got to author your own meal plan. You've got to learn the foods that you like that go in these categories, and then you put these categories together to make meals, okay? So after you've kind of gotten through that little section right there of the printing of things, then these simply are joining some Facebook groups, okay? And then this one is make your first journal entry. And you may not be ready to do that on lap one, but just know that the day that you are ready to do that, you just come back over to lap one and check that off, all right? So let's have a look at lap two. Again, this video here is a tutorial of this. Lap two could not be more important. This is getting your account set up in a way that it'll crunch the data for you. You want the information to be in the system so it can give you the cool graphs and fun things that Travis's mind has thought up over the years, all right? So it's really important that you go through each one of these. And what's really funny, when I started Shibboleth, I just picked a random weight. I had no idea, oh, I should really find my ideal weight. And so that's why some of these things have been put into play. It's like, let's take members through like a little system to get them started. And so that's why we've put this fast track together, Sasha and I did. So you're going to find your ideal weight. Please do a full body assessment. This is really good information. The full body assessment, well, let me talk about this ideal weight. The ideal weight is typically going to give you a nice range. Sometimes it's a 20-pound range for your gender, your height, your age. It could be more or less. But the top end of that range, you're going to feel great in your clothes. But if you get to that bottom end of that range, then you're going to look great in your bathing suit. So it just kind of depends on where you want to be with that ideal weight, but it is good to at least do that. You do want to complete a full body assessment. This is going to tell you how much excess fat that you want to get rid of. There are 3 types of fat on the body: excess, reserve, and essential. You never want to get into the essential. We need that. It's the excess that is harming our health. So if we highly focus on getting rid of the excess, we aren't just going to improve our self-confidence, the way that we feel that we look, we're going to improve our health, and our doctor is going to give us great reports. And that's important too. That reserve fat, that middle one that I talked about, that's the one that you're like, okay, I feel great now, and I think I can go and lose a little bit more. You could work on that reserve fat if you wanted to, but you never want to go into your essential fat. And that full body assessment will give you those details. And then make sure that you complete your profile. I'm going to click here. I want you to see where it goes to. It goes right over here. And do you see this graph right here? There's two places that you want to have completed, you want to have put some information in. Right here, here's where you click edit to do it. But right here at starting weight, make sure you put that in. And then also make sure that you put these numbers in right here, okay? And then when you journal for your very first day, make sure that you also put in your starting body weight too, and it'll have that little graph do right. Then this one, take a before front and side picture and upload to your account. So many people don't want to do this, but they regret it if they don't, because once they've lost weight, they're like, wait a minute, and they're looking through pictures, and then they find that they never even were in very many pictures because they didn't like to have pictures made of themselves, and they're kind of hiding behind people. So we never get a really good picture. This is just for your eyes only, okay? So just take a front and side picture. You'll be glad that you did, I promise. And then you're going to define your why. If you don't have a why, like, why are you doing this? Days that I've had today where I've wanted to eat, I have had to, like, no, Kim, no, no, no. I've had to tell myself no today. Revisit my why I want to feel better. And why would I not want to have a perfect day? I'd already promised myself I was going to have a perfect day today. So I might as well keep that promise to myself. We're going to have to get really good at keeping our promises to ourselves, but define your why. And then this link right here is simply the webinars that we do every single night. So if you happen to miss one, they're all going to be right there for you. This is that link that we went over last night. And then this is extremely important. You need to take the fast track quiz. You actually earn your first badge. And I want to take the word complete off of that badge, because fast track is not complete. It just means that you've gotten the badge. But that is very important because it opens up, y'all listen, it opens up the full food library, the full recipe library, and the full restaurant guide to you. If you haven't taken that test yet and passed that test and gotten that first badge, your view of the food library is going to be limited. Your view of the recipe library is going to be limited, and the restaurant guide. So if you have done all lap 1 and lap 2, you should be able to pass this test, okay? And that's important because of what we're going to do tonight in lap 3. So we're going to go ahead and get started on lap 3. Remember, this is a tutorial of lap 3 right there. And then we're going to do this just like I would do this if I were doing this myself. It says, familiarize yourself with the food library. Let me just tell you, this is the encyclopedia of what we're doing. Now, I just participated along with Michelle and some other people on Dr. Jim's Italian food tour of the grocery stores. It was so good. Okay. This is really him playing around in our food library for your benefit. Okay. And it's awesome. But when he's not on there doing stuff, you need to know how to use that food library. Now, there's a couple of things that I want you to do in the beginning. If you have other people in your home you're feeding, or your spouse is doing this along with you, first of all, please get them a membership. Okay, this is a ministry, and everybody should have their own membership. All right, but let's hover over this because it's really important. One of the best ways to familiarize yourself with the library is to do the following brainstorming activity. Take a white sheet of paper. and just randomly write down in no particular order, just let the ideas flow. That's what a brainstorming activity is. All the foods that you can think of, if it pops into your head, write it down. Even if you don't eat it on a regular basis, just write it down. I'll write down the ones that you eat on a regular basis and that you like, just anything, just very randomly write them all down. Then you're going to take the time to look those foods up in the food library. And you're going to write next to those, is this a category 1? Is this a category 3? Oh, that's not even approved. You're going to be finding those kind of things out. And then once you've done that, organize them on lists. Put all your category 1s in a list, all your category 2s, all your category 3s, and so forth. Put them in a list. Actually, there's a worksheet right down here that you could do it on. If you do not have access to a printer, just know that you can read anything that you need to online, and anything that's a worksheet, you could just recreate on your own paper, okay? So as you're exploring the food library, make sure that you heart each food item that you like or you think you might like to try. Hearting a food item adds it to your personal favorites, which can be found in your journal or in the food library when you click on My Favorites. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pretend that some of you have already done that activity. We're just going to look up some random foods. So if you would like to go ahead and type in some foods, that would be fine. We'll look them up. And I'm going to tell you what I did when I first got started with Shibboleth. I'm getting out my Sharpie marker here. This is kind of a good tip. Y'all know what a Sharpie is. So I brought the food that was in my pantry in here to my office, and I just started looking all of it up. I would look it up by brand. I would look it up by the name, and I'd do all I could to try to find the item. If it was in the food library, I would write it down what it was with my Sharpie marker on that. That way I put it back into the pantry. I knew what that was. That was a good way for me to learn these foods and what they are. After you do that a few times and it's something that you buy over and over and you know how you're using it, you won't need to do that. But in the beginning, that's a very good learning activity. I did the same thing with all the food that was in my freezer and in my refrigerator. Just used my Sharpie and wrote it all down in there. There's some other things that I would just print out. There were so many different ways to use some things that I would just print that out and I would tape it on a bag. And then I would always store that stuff in that bag. That way I would just put my new items that when I ran out, I'd put the new stuff in that bag. I'd always, if I wanted to go over and see, particularly I'm talking about these brand crisp crackers that we like. And I would put them in the bag, and then when I run out of them, I put the new ones back in the bag. But there's lots of different ways to use them. So if I'm having a little hankering for something, I walk over and say, oh, can I use this as an extra? Could I use this as a snack? What could I do with this? And it's already pretty printed and on my baggie. And then the ump shake, there's so many different ways to use the ump shake that you can just print that out and kind of tape it inside your little pantry or wherever you keep that information. So please play in the food library and use the food library kind of like your encyclopedia of food. Okay, now Cece is mentioning Domino's Pizza. So Domino's Pizza, actually, I'm gonna look it up, but it wouldn't be in the food library. Where's that gonna be? Where would Domino's Pizza be? Actually, it did pull up from the food library, but since Domino's is a restaurant, I might go with that. But they pulled it up. It pulled it up. So Domino's Pizza, you could do 2 slices. Yeah, Cece, 2 slices of the 12-inch Philly cheesesteak thin crust. That is the pizza that's approved at Domino's. So if you don't like that pizza, if you don't like Philly cheesesteak thin crust, then you're not going to pick Domino's on a perfect day. Okay, we consider it a meal replacement. 2 slices would be what your choice, what your amount is. And it says you can have 2 slices of Domino's Philly cheesesteak on thin crust, weight loss meter 0. So there you go. That is that. Y'all give me some other ideas. I am going to look up butter beans because I am curious because one of the things that I teach is that most lighter colored beans are a category 3 energy carb. And I really want to see if this one is an energy carb or if it's a superfood. It's an energy carb. Okay. And that's what I would do. I know butter beans are an energy carb, but look at this, navy beans. And this is just a curiosity thing for me because I was watching another of Jim's video today in the car. Navy beans, let's click there. Actually, there can be considered a category 3 and a 6. So it kind of gives you the approved portions there. So it says up to 1.5 cups is a category 6 protein, or up to 1/4 cup is a category 3 side dish. And so if you like those, you just need to make sure that you have read the information on those. Okay, let's see. CC says canned okra. How about I just put in okra and we'll see what it pulls up, because then it would pull up canned and everything else. Okay, there's okra. Let's just read okra first. Okra is a category 2 fibrous carb. It's also a freebie, but let me explain to you how you use freebies. Freebies are used in a moment of weakness, a mental weakness where you are going to give in if you don't get something. We do not add freebies to meals. So if you're using this as part of a meal, that's when you would call it a category 2 fibrous carb. A freebie is not eaten with a meal. This is also marked in our library as a gluten-free product. You can have up to 1 cup of these. Now, honestly, just make sure they fit underneath your hand, okay, with a decent portion underneath your hand. Now, let's see if there's any other information. This serving size would be 1/2 cup with another category 2, a category 3, or a category 4. So you always want to come down and read the description. That gives you some more information. Grilled whole okra is a great way to have okra. Now, if you like to lightly dust okra, you can lightly dust okra with Carb Quick. Carb Quick is like a flour, and you can dust that and cook it up in your, my dog. You can cook that up in your oven, or you can cook it up in your air fryer. That would work. Now let's go back and see the other options for okra. Pickled okra, any brand. Always look for the little bits in parentheses sometimes. Sometimes my eyes are too narrow and I'm not reading everything. So there's any brand. Is this what you kind of mean by canned okra? Any brand of pickled okra works fine. And then there's some okra chips. Talk of Texas crisp okra pickles. Okra pickles. And then it's not the same thing. So okra, even if it's canned, CC, I would say it's a category 2. Just make sure it doesn't have any sugars and fat or anything added to it, because sometimes that happens when they're putting things in cans. You just want to make sure that you look at that. And so look, ooh, that looks good. I think I might like that. Ooh, but wait a second. Do you see what I did? I went up and hearted that because anything crispy and crunchy that has to do with okra sounds good to me. So I went up to heart it, but it is a 2 on the weight loss meter. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's that great for those of us that are in weight loss. I'm in maintenance, so I could use up to 200 calories. And look, it does say maintenance snack. So you just want to keep those things in mind. All right. And then protein crunch protein bars. Talking like Power Crunch. Is that what you're meaning, Dawn? The Power Crunch? Okay. I really like the protein, the Power Crunch. So there's Power Crunch. Okay, this was interesting because this one, the last time I looked, this was not approved. But let's see what it says. During weight loss, you may have one of any flavor bar as a meal before 4 p.m. on days that you are having only 2 eating episodes. Or once you've reached your weight loss goal, you may have one as a meal any day before 4 p.m. Well, on that one, it used to not be approved. So they've added this in here. I probably would just say, well, I don't need to eat that one then. Let me eat the other one. So this, the Power Crunch Bar. It's a snack or a meal replacement. One bar is a meal replacement, or you may use any bar that has no more than 200 calories. This is really important. Make sure you look at the back. If one of the bars has less than 200, it can be used as a snack. If it has more than 200 calories, you would use that as a meal replacement. And let's go back over here. I want to show y'all something else that I do. Yeah, these are so good. And then this Power Crunch Choklat bar. There's dark or milk chocolate. These things are delicious. I had one today. Now, let me explain to you how I use these typically. Today, I ate the whole thing. But see how it's scored right there? So when you open this, what I do with it is I break it into 6 little pieces, and then I put it in a little container in my pantry. And one little piece right here really could be an extra. I've done the numbers to figure that out. So one piece would be an extra. The whole thing would be a snack. But one piece could be an extra if you just wanted that. And I'll tell you something else I do. If I have not eaten a condiment with that particular meal, not with a meal replacement, with a properly combined meal, if I didn't use the condiment and I want a little taste of chocolate at the end of that, I'll do that. And that is typically just enough to give you that flavor that you want at the end of a meal. So I typically don't eat the whole thing of this. I did today, but I told y'all today I was like, I don't know what's going on. I need to eat. So I ate this right here as a snack today. It can also be used as a meal replacement too. All right, so those work great. But what I want to do is I want us to throw out, let's take 4 more minutes and let's throw out whole foods that you like to eat. Please throw out some of those so we can look those up. Oh, now you'll notice, look, this is a category 2 as well. Not a category 2, weight loss meter 2. But if you're eating this as a meal replacement, that's not going to hurt you at all. What are some whole foods that y'all are interested? When you make dinner at night, what are you making? Are you using beef? Are you using chicken? What are you using? Are you using green beans? This is the type thing I want us to look up some whole foods. Okay, salmon. Okay, salmon. All right, salmon is a category 1. It's a lean protein and it's a fish. All fish is a category 1 lean protein. So salmon. Okay, well, there's a lot of things in here that has the word salmon in it. So you might want to just scroll through and look at all of these options for salmon. Now, let's click on actual salmon. Salmon, category 1, lean protein, 4 to 6 ounces for ladies, 6 to 8 ounces for men. And then there's a whole bunch of other information about it right there. So if you like salmon, please write that in your list of favorites for a category 1. All right, now beets. Look, that salmon is a -3 as well. Beets. Okay, there's 5 options with the word beets in it. So you can look up these Aunt Nellie's products. You can look up this Old World pickled baby beets, and you can look up these beets. Now, look at this. These are all zeros in the weight loss meter. Aren't going to help you, aren't going to hurt you, but the actual beets, they're a -1. So let's have a look. Beets are a category 2 fibrous carb. So if you like beets, please write that on your favorite list for category 2. And then you can come down here and you can read this information. See, what Shibboleth is, it's broaden your horizons. It's teaching you new things. And let's be open to that. Let's see learning as exciting because it's important. And then look, there's even some things right there that you could make. There's some recipes that have beets in it. All right, ground beef. Cece, I am with you. I eat a lot of ground beef myself. So let's look that up. Okay. First of all, 96% lean ground beef is going to be a category 1 lean protein. But if you're choosing 93 to 95.9% lean, you would consider that a category 4. So I'm hoping right now that you've got paper and pen and you're making your lists. So 93 to 95.9 will be a category 4 because it's a protein, it just has more fat in it. I see that, Polly. I looked that corn up too. And but if it is less than 93% lean, you want to make sure that you don't even use it on a perfect day. Because in this ground meat world, anything less than 93% is really a whole bunch of fat with just a little bit of meat added to it. Okay. But then there's some other things in there with ground beef. So you can look through and see what's sold at your store. All right. Steak. Deb says steak. I'm all about that steak too. All cuts of steak, I know right now, are a category 4. All cuts of steak are a 4. They are a protein plus fat. And so, Deb, all kinds of stuff came up with the word steak in it, but there's just the steak in general right there. It's a protein plus fat, 2 to 6 ounces, and it will give you more information. And there's some recipes listed with it. Deb, you could probably make pickled beets. We might look that up. Hey, hold on to that one and we'll look it up either in the end or tomorrow when we look at the recipe guide, okay? But I mean, pickled. Let's look up pickled real quick. Let's just see if pickled beets come in here. There's baby whole pickled beets. There's pickled beets right there. So there you go. Yeah, there's pickled beets for you, Deb. It's got this Aunt Nellie's. So if you've got a brand that you buy, well, if you make them on your own with approved sweetener, that should be fine. Should be fine. But we're just saying these brands would work, but you making them on your own should be fine. Okay, let's look up collards. Collards aren't in there, but let me just tell you that collard is a leafy green. All leafy greens are a category 2 energy carb. There we go. Collard greens. There's 2 sets of collard greens right there. The Glory seasoned collard greens that come in the can is a 0 on the weight loss meter, but collard greens that are fresh are a -3 on the weight loss meter. They are a category 2 fibrous carb. Deb, we'll have to ask. I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. And then Trina, on the meatloaf, we're going to want to look that up in the recipe library tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in meatloaf and see if we can find any food. Look, all of these things, the Atkins meatloaf with portobello mushroom gravy, the Gardein homestyle meatless meatloaf, that'd be good for vegetarians. Then we got the Hormel homestyle meatloaf with tomato sauce, Hunt's seasoned tomato sauce for meatloaf, the Lean Cuisine comfort meatloaf with mashed potatoes, meatloaf seasoning, any brand, and the Weight Watchers Smart Ones meatloaf. So those are some prepared meatloafs that you could buy in the store as a product that would work, but there are meatloaf recipes that we can look up in there. Mustard greens, let's look up. Now, David, I'm going to come right back to bacon. There's a lot of things with the word bacon in them that are approved, but if you're looking for actual real bacon, there's mustard greens. They are a -3. And canned stuff's fine, Cece, so you can use canned. Always fresh is better, but canned's fine. Avocados are a category 6 superfood. And I'm going to go ahead and say that one, but I'm going to look up bacon. And corn is a category 3 energy carb. Okay, so you can see how we've gone. We've covered quite a bit here. So we're going to look up bacon. But I bet you anything, David is looking for real bacon. David's going, I want some real bacon. It's if it's approved, it's for sure a category 4 protein plus fat. All of these things have the word bacon in them. So you would just want to kind of go through them, open each one, look at it, and see what it says about it, and see if you recognize the brand. That's the kind of thing that I would do. But if you have a Kroger near you, there's one called, oh, there it is, the Private Selection Center Cut Bacon. This is the bacon that is approved as a protein plus fat up to 4 slices. Now you come down here and you need to read the description. You may have up to 4 slices if this is your only protein source. If you're having it with an egg, have 1 to 2 slices, and it must be served with a category 2. So you just want to come down here and have a look at that description. Now, when it comes to protein plus fat, you don't want any more than 50% of the calories to come from fat. So they've obviously looked at this Private Selection and they know that it is no more than 50% of the calories are coming from fat. But just make sure that you're buying an approved product. There's a lot of turkey bacon that's approved, but not all. Okay, so you just want to go through and find the products that are. See, that's the beauty of having your membership. Shibboleth has already done all that for you. All right, now we're going to have a look at, and once you feel comfortable that you know how to use the food library, you just simply come check this box, okay? So now, CC, can I use this if I download the app for the grocery store? Well, I rarely use the app. What I have on my phone is I went to the food library. I went to the website. I went to the food library and I saved the food library as a shortcut on my phone. So that's what I did. I rarely even use the app. But yeah, the app would work too. I would not buy the app right now though, because the app was stolen and we are fighting with Apple to get it back. So I wouldn't purchase the app right now. What you need to do is just go to myshibboleth.com on your phone, go to the food library, save it as a home screen, save it as a favorite to your home screen. And that's how I would access the food library when I'm in the grocery store. That's what I do anyway. Okay, familiarize yourself with your timing chart. Click on your weekly timing chart above to view your personal timing chart. The link, okay, so your timing chart is up here. You see this blue? That's your timing chart. But this link here is actually to a video of me talking about the timing chart. And it's talking about how important it is to understand why you want to fill that in each day. So the link in this task is to a video on how to use your timing chart to your benefit. Your timing chart is going to be an extremely valuable tool for you. It is a great visual as to whether or not you're doing your best. On your first and second perfect days, you're going to see a green check. On your third perfect day, you're going to see a flame. You are now an EFB, baby, efficient fat burning. Your body is now in a state where it can efficiently burn fat. So I'm just going to click this link and show you that that link goes to a video. And this is just a video of me talking about the timing chart, okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to click up here on the timing chart. I'm going to go back to my very first month in Shibboleth because it's easier for me to use it because I was in weight loss mode at that time. So I started on a Wednesday, April 10th. That was my first perfect day. And how do I get that green check on there? I journaled it in my journal. I'll show you. I chose the type of day I was having right there. What you put right here determines what icon shows up in your timing chart. Okay, so there's my green check. That was a perfect day. My second day was a perfect day. My third day was a perfect day, but I was in EFB, efficient fat burning. So I'm getting a flame, all right? I'll answer that question in just a second, Cece. And then another flame, another flame, and I'm losing weight. I lost 9 pounds this week. And then this was Easter, and I went to Alabama for Easter. I live in Kennesaw, Georgia, but I went to Alabama for Easter, and I like my Alabama Easter food. And so I had holidays, which are allowed, right, on the lifestyle. And then I had a perfect day. And while I was in Alabama for Easter, I was watching the gold level daily doses, which I don't even want you to think about, okay, until you've got fast track down and you've got living the lifestyle, the basics down, okay. Then you go to silver level daily doses, then gold. In the beginning, there was no fast track. There wasn't anybody showing me all of this information. I just figured it out from playing around on the website. But while I was in Alabama, I started watching all of those daily doses and I realized what IMF is. IMF stands for intermittent fasting. And so I did an intermittent fasting day this day. All right. So that's just another form or a version of a perfect day. There's lots of versions of perfect days. Okay. And then I was back in EFB. And then this little icon right there means I also did a wow challenge. We're going to go over wow challenges later in this week. And this was another EFB day. The reason that it's very important for you to be getting these icons on this chart is because if there is a week there you don't lose any weight and you want to get upset about it, you need to come and look at this chart. If you have flames and you are doing everything like you should, you need to know that something else is masking the weight loss on the scale. Okay, but you can still be burning fat. And if you're doing all the right things, you are still burning fat. So let this be something that encourages you rather than just the scale. Because if you let the scale determine your mood, it won't be long before you're eating food. So let's also let this determine our mood. Because if you know you're doing your best, don't worry about what the scale says. Let's not have that relationship with the scale where we let it determine our day. I'm going to click on the journal because Cece was asking about that and she saw it from right here. When you come into your journal each day and you go to click, you see all those options. But remember, on Sunday night, I just said for y'all to concern yourself with perfect day and holiday, perfect day, holiday, perfect day, holiday. Sometimes people mark unsure in the beginning, okay, but perfect day or holiday is what we're shooting for. But all of these other ones down here, those are just advanced types of perfect days. You don't need to go there yet. We've got to get the basics of living the lifestyle down and doing the 5 little things every day. That's what we got to get down. Then when you're ready, you can go into those other things. But honestly, Cece, an IMF day is really just a perfect day where you've also gone at least 12 hours without eating, and that can include your nighttime, your sleeping. So you could easily go ahead and have an IMF day right now. It's just that I don't want to blow people's minds right now. We just are trying to get in this new nutrition learning that we have never had before and we needed so desperately bad. So that's why we just kind of ease everything in. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do right here is we're going to create lists of your favorites in each categories on your fast track worksheet. So it says print and use the attached worksheet to begin creating lists of your personal favorite foods in each list. The great thing about this worksheet is that you can print and create as many as you need. So I often suggest that people print 3 to start. Focus on breakfast foods. Focus on lunch foods, focus on dinner foods, and then you can create meals down here based on which meal that is. So right here, that's just giving you a spot for 10 lean proteins, 10 fibrous carbs, 10 energy carbs, 10 protein plus fat. If all of us sat down right now and wrote one of these out, they would all look different because we all like different things. So you got to, this is going to be what you use to help author your own meal plan. But to create a meal plan, you got to know which ones of these you like. So that's why that brainstorming activity and that searching around in the food library is so important. And then this is just giving you a place to build meals. So you can pull a lean protein. Remember, lean protein can come from category 1 or 7, and then a category 2 fibers carb, put those together. If it's something that you would cook up in MCT oil, that's just a reminder that you could use MCT oil. And then over here is just putting together. Thank you, Wendy. You too. You can put other meals together. This is a lean protein with a fibers carb and an energy carb. This is a lean protein with a fibers carb and fruit. This is a protein plus fat with a fibers carb. And this is superfood with a fibers carb. So, and these are basic meals combinations, because there's more. And we're going to talk about that later in the week, some advanced combinations. Okay. And then also later in the week, we're going to be exploring freebies, extras, snacks, meal replacements. It's important to know those things that you can use in those moments where you don't want to give up a perfect day and you haven't used a freebie, so you can use it, or you haven't used an extra. Even using these things, you can still remain in EFB, okay? But no more than one extra, no more than one snack in a day. And you can have this is a question that gets asked often. Can I do meal replacements for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? You can. Now, we are a program. I love Shibboleth because we can teach you how to do all the whole foods. We can even teach you what a divine day is. So if you like organic, non-GMO, and all of that, honestly, that's just a perfect day where you're choosing all organic, non-genetically modified foods, nothing processed. That would be a divine day. And then meal replacements. There's some people that are like, I don't even care about all that. I just need easy. Then they want to do meal replacements. But honestly, most people do a little combination of both. You know, they're cooking some meals, they're eating something quick as they're running out the door for breakfast, or they're throwing something in their bag to take to work for lunch, and it's a meal replacement. So it varies, and every day that you live is going to vary. So you just need to know all of these things. But this worksheet's really great. And then this one is just simply create meals on that worksheet. So it's just to create meals on that worksheet. So it's kind of broken into two. It's broken into two, to create your favorites list and then to create the meals on there. And then once you've done those things, you can come and check those off. Okay. And just know that if you get all excited, you've done all that, you can move on to lap 4, you can move on to lap 5, and so forth. It's just that each night I'm going to do a lap and reiterate what all of those things are. Okay. Because it's really important for us to know how to use this tool, the website. Now, does anybody have any questions about anything that we went over tonight? Otherwise, I'm going to show you how to get registered if you haven't registered for the Men of Shibboleth webinar that's going to happen at 8:30 tonight. Does anybody have any questions about what we went over tonight, or any burning question that might help you have a perfect day tomorrow? So if I'm waiting for any questions to be asked, I'm going to go up here and show you how to get registered for a webinar. This pink online webinars tab, you can click there. And then, like, here's where my events are. So it's happening now. And then on Saturday, we have started something new. I would love for you to join us. It's an online accountability meeting, and everybody that came to the last one enjoyed it a lot. And we're going to keep doing this every Saturday, so you can register for that there. But upcoming live broadcast. So if you have not registered for How I Overcame Food Addiction and Lost Weight, you come here and you click register here, and you can register that. All right, you can register right there, which is great, because when you register for something and then you log into the Zoom room, you actually get credit for logging into the Zoom room. You get an increasing number on your live webinar attendance badge. So it's always best to participate in these things via the Zoom room over Facebook, just because you get credit on the Zoom room. Okay. Cece says, when you have a holiday, can you eat anything? Yes. Yes. So here's the great thing about a holiday. We are not taking absolutely anything from you. You can eat anything that you like living the Shibboleth lifestyle, but You want to live within the management system. It's guidelines. So you have, when you're in weight loss mode, you have up to 6 holidays that you can use. You have up to 6 holidays that you can use in a month and still achieve results. We want results, right? We're not here not to get results. So if you're not living within the guidelines, then the results aren't going to be there. So we're going to live within the guidelines, but you can eat whatever you want to on a holiday. Now, I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, I was all about, let me get some chips, let me get some ice cream, let me make some homemade cookies and call my son downstairs. Ooh, today's the day for holiday. And I'm like, get me my French fries and all of that. Well, now that I've been doing this 2 years, I'm all about something small on a holiday because I have figured out that I don't feel that great after. And you'll feel that way too. In the beginning, you might have more like a hog trough day. But if you ever hear somebody say a challah meal, that just is like a little meal that you had that was off plan. So maybe you had French fries with your meal or something like that. That would still be a holiday. So whether you hog trough it or you just have French fries or anything, it's a holiday. If you even lick the dust off of a Dorito, it is a holiday. If you don't get your water in for the day, it's a holiday. If you don't journal your foods, it's a holiday. If you go over your portions, it's a holiday. So any part of not getting the Shibboleth shield into play in a day is a holiday, but you can eat whatever you want to on your holiday. So that's why I always say, if you like steak and potato, we're not taking it from you. You're just not going to choose to have it on a perfect day, but you can have it on a holiday. All right, metabolism points. Okay, let me come back to those real quick. Michelle says, how many WOW challenges should you do in 1 week? Actually, you can do as many as you want to, and we are going to talk about WOW challenges a little bit later in the week, but let me kind of tell you what a WOW challenge is. A WOW challenge, WOW stands for War on Weakness. So this is a day where it's typically a wild and wacky challenge, something that you wouldn't normally do for food, but Travis has put these together and they'll work. They are designed to lose up to a pound in a day, and it's a 1-day challenge. So you can do it 1 day, or you can do 1-day challenges multiple days in a row, but you are going to want to accept the challenge, and I'll show you how to do that later in the week, or you can just go into the WOW challenges, and I've got a video there. But you can go in there, you accept it, and then you make sure that you complete it. Okay, you can complete it on the same day that you finish it, so you don't have to wait till the next day to complete it. As soon as you're like going to bed and you know that you've completed it, just go ahead and complete it. But you can do as many as you want to. Michelle, sometimes there are people that say they're going to do a week's worth of WOW challenges. There are some people that do a WOW challenge every single perfect day. They're using it basically as a meal plan is what they're doing. They found WOW challenges and they like them and they're fun and they enjoy them. So that's the answer to that question. Now, Sharon, metabolism points. Okay, metabolism points, this comes from interacting with the website. The more videos that you watch, the more metabolism points that you get. You get metabolism points for purchasing things in the Shibboleth store. You get metabolism points for walking 5 miles in a day. So it's just basically it is interacting with the website. And after I've quit paying attention to them, Sharon, because I don't really, I just do my thing. I need to ask more about the metabolism points. And if you get Travis on a webinar, ask him too. But it's all about interacting in the website. So what I consider the website, I consider it my hub. I have it saved on my computer as a favorite, and I just go there and bam, I just log in well, I don't have to log in. It's already sitting there. I go ahead and journal what type of day I'm having, and I watch I put the Shibby Show in there every morning. So I watch the Shibby Show on there. I do actually watch myself. Y'all, this might sound funny, but I do watch myself do the Shibby Show. And there have been times where I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm glad you said that. I like self-motivation watching myself. But I would love for y'all to join me in the mornings for the Shibby Show. So if you're not seeing the Shibby Show in your journal, that means that you have journal videos backed up in there that you need to watch, because otherwise it should be popping up to that day's journal in the journal video for the day. All right. Well, I hope that y'all play around in that food library. I hope that you journal every single day so you can get all of those icons on your timing chart. And I hope that you meal plan on that worksheet. All right. If you have any questions, make sure that you let us know. We're here for you. Go ahead and get registered for that webinar that's going to happen in just 6 minutes and see what these guys have to say. And I hope you join me for the Shibby Show in the morning on the public Facebook page, and join me tomorrow night for the fast track class, lap 4. You're welcome, Michelle. You're welcome, Phyllis. I'm so glad that y'all are hanging out with me. I appreciate it very much. And you can't hear this stuff enough. If you're trying to change habits, you can't hear it enough. So y'all keep coming right on back. Hey, CC, I mean, you're welcome. And never feel like you can't, once you've done this, I don't need to go do that again. You probably do. There are people that listen to this at least once a month just to reinforce it, because it's important. All right. Bye, everybody.